وافق شغلت هاي. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome you, all of you, wherever you are. Welcome you again with your program Fatwa Life that comes to you today on Thursday, the 12th of the month of Muharram. And this is the first part of the Fatwa Life. The first question today about the rule about donation to political for candidates in the for Congress, for Muslims or non-Muslims, and also to volunteer in their campaign, and whether that's some of the good things to do or not. The answer: it is okay to spend money for election campaigns for the any candidate that is supporting the morals and the ones who support the rights of the Muslims here and everywhere, and to help the weak all over the world, and to reduce um, the tyrants and the tyranny or the problems that they're going. And in particular, if these are Muslims, of course, you have to do that. And in Europe, there is a fatwa, the research committee, they did it is allowed and to spend the money, whether he's a Muslim or non-Muslim, if he is more capable of bringing the best common interest of the people where you live, whether they're Muslims or non-Muslims. And this could be spent in bringing the best of good and to uh, push the worst of evil. And it is also can be spent from the zakat, but it is better in the charity. It is much better. But also it could be in the sake of Allah, especially when it comes to support the weak and the Muslims that go through calamities everywhere, or to reduce the problems that they're going through. But you have to be careful in applying this so you don't use the resources of the poor and needy in the elections and forget that you need to spend money for them. And it is easy to leave this for institutions and not to leave it for one of the donors. Also, that volunteering in the election campaigns for those, especially for the Muslims candidate, if they have the good intentions, it is one of the good sources of goodness that you get the rewards from Allah Azza wa Jal. Wallahu a'lam. Second question: a doctor works in the public hospitals in a far area, and the hospital did not give him all the tools that he needs for all his needs and his specialties. Can he take the patients that they who needs these uh, can he transfer these people to his own clinic where he have all the tools that and he definitely will be benefiting financially from this kind of action? Well, the answer to work in the medicine is one of the greatest jobs that you could have. And it's very honored and to help the person. And the doctor is just like someone who has a dead person and help him to stay alive. and you have to direct him to what is more beneficial for the patient, not what is good for the financially beneficial for the doctor. So if these pillars are very clear, and to take him to the private medicine that is not available in the public area, in the public hospital, then it is okay. The person is trusted on his religion, and he's going to be asked at the day of judgment, and he should not take unawareness of his patient so he could gain some financial aid, but he needs to do it what is the best interest of the patient himself. One of the next question, one of the new Muslims, his mother died, she's not a Muslim. Can any of the Muslims, can you do condolences in the masjid to make him feel good? Well, there is nothing, no burden in this, because the condolences is for him, not for his mother. And you can give the condolences to the Muslim for the non-Muslim relative. And you could even give the non-Muslims the condolences for the loss of their relatives, or when, especially when there is an interest, like to call them, or to soften their heart, or to, and you have to choose the appropriate word that you will not violate Allah's rule. Like to say to, may Allah give you patience, may Allah compensate you, may Allah, some of the words that's going to help and condole the soul of the brother. But you cannot ask for forgiveness for the non-Muslims. Because what Allah said, it was not for the Prophet and those who believed to ask forgiveness for the people who put partners with Allah, even if they are close relatives, especially if it is known that they are from the people of Jahannam. The Fatwa committee in Saudi Arabia said to condole the non-Muslims, it is okay if you want to make them interested in Islam. You prevent their harm on the Muslims, on yourself, because the public interest, it is some of the things are forgiven that is needed to be done. Second question. I was part of a competition. There's a competition in this country for security things. It's from military things, and I was surprised in the end that the expenses comes from each person, and whomever wins, he will take the prize. Is that allowed? Knowing the loss and with the, and depends on your training in this competition. So I tell him, there's a hadith, there is no competition except the money that you spend for the person who compete, except, so you don't ask for the money except in these three things, between horses, camels, and throwing the arrows or something of that, or because these are the tools of jihad, of fighting. And from that you take the Quranic competition, because the religion It's just like it is supported with the tools, it is also with the book. And Allah said, do not follow the disbelievers and fight them greatly, meaning here the jihad of the word from the debate with the logic. So that's not with the hand. So to learn these competitions, to learn something that going to beneficial the people, then it is hoping that it is from the exception in that hadith, or it will be part of it. So if this is not there, then it is on the thing that is restricted, because then it's become gambling. That is forbidden. What is the measurement in here? Anything that, so the loss of somebody, it is the win of the other. But if this competition came from one party that's outside, then it is not a problem, because the competition, either he will win or he will not going to lose anything. So he's not into the thing that Allah restricts or forbids. The second question: it is required on the man to tell his mother every charity or zakah he spent. Do you have to tell your mom or ask her permission? She wants to know all the details. Who did he give it and why? And she could decide whether he deserves it or not. No, you don't. The answer, you don't have to. But to be lenient in the talk to her. So if she's hurt with something of what he is doing of the goodness, ask, taking care of him. Like if she tell him to stop at charity, but he wants his Sheikh Uthaymeen was asked this foreign question. I want to give my charity to institution that's beneficial, and my father, he refused. He wants me to give it to my relatives, and he wants to force me into it. So if you and your money to your father, that he can control what I put my money on my charity, so he said no, that's not part of it. But if he wants to own it, if he want to take the money for himself, not a problem. But not to stop the charity of his son. And I tell the son to give it to the relatives. It is better. Wallahu alam. Question: if I married on without documentation, and I want to have a divorce, can the husband ask money over the dowry that's paid, even though it's made 4 months only? Do you have to have witnesses during the divorce, or he could make the and he just tear the papers out? In the beginning, the woman should not ask her husband into a divorce unless there is a reason, because of what Abu Dawood put in his book. The Prophet said, any woman who asks divorce with no reason, he will not smell the paradise. But if she hated living with him and she's afraid she will not be able to give him his dues, his rights, then it is okay for her to ask for the khula and to be free herself out. Because what Al-Bukhari said, that Ibn Abbas said that the wife of Thabit bin Qais came to the Prophet ﷺ, and she said, "O Messenger of Allah, Thabit bin Qais is a very nice person. I have no regret on his character or his religion, but I hate disbelief in Islam because she cannot do his dues." So he told her, "Would you give him back his dowry?" She said yes. So he told him, accept the dowry back and divorce her. One. There is no limit for the compensation. She could agree with her husband to divorce her with the dowry, or less, or more, whatever they could agree on. But the character of people do not increase of what they want, do not go exceed the dowry. And there was a similar question for the Fatwa committee in Saudi Arabia. They said there is nothing wrong with the husband taking the increase that he could ask of what he paid in dowry for his wife, and so he could divorce her. But looks like she's the one who wants to divorce. This is not acceptable. By the way, the AMJA, the American Muslim Jurist Association, they said about the khul' on several areas. They said the khul' to relieve the person from the marriage for compensation that she pays the wife, or without, if it is, if she cannot live with her husband and she cannot have she cannot live with him with no flaws from him or anything of his dues. There is no limit up or down. It is a divorce that is the first divorce that the wife with it she had her, so her husband have, he can't get to her except with a new contract, a new dowry. Another question: a woman, she had a daughter that are engaged. When the fiance comes in, she sits with him, with the husband and the son there, with one of the right one, and she is wearing niqab. Is it okay that to discussion? The father doesn't know how to debate or talk about it, but he sit there and listens. The answer: there is nothing wrong of what you are doing. The mother and her daughter are in their hijab, and the talk in goodness. Amjad, they have a decision about the mixing between men and women as follows. The mixing is an expression that is general, some that is allowed, some that is forbidden. Between the two, what is known, and some that is disagreed. This is just the men and the women, they come to do a common work, whether it's religious or hereafter, and it is taking care of all the rules of Islam, and it was prepared in that order, then it is no problem. Also, the meeting of men and women to be outside in the Eid and the Hajj and the lecture that is open, whether it's in the masjid or other outside the masjid, and the women leaving to do their best interest in people. You know, the as long as they are wearing the hijab, they're away from the other sex, and to lower the eyes and the gaze between the men and women, and the separation, and that is more protector to the fitna. But if it meant the mixing of the two parties, it is restricted as long as unless there is a need or demand that is required. Some that is required, some are, I mean, are cleared and some that is not. And this is like that during the war, and know that what are. Another question about college that they wanted, they made that the first year free book and education, but they went out from that and they asked people to ask the first part, can they change that condition if they contracted them with the people who are. A lot of people were last year was not paying on time, which made it close, and because they could not meet their financial dues. You have to fulfill the contract. What the academy declared as a contract between it and the student, Allah said, "Oh, you believe? Fulfill the covenant and do the promises. It is your responsible." And sometimes there will be so. So go back and look with the administration and try to understand. It is your institution and your academy, and it is your kids who are studying there. And they're claiming bankruptcy, that will have a worse uh, uh, effect on the community. The second question, a husband asked his wife for her phone. He told her only if you divorce him. But he did not want to divorce her, he just wanted a phone. He said, okay, is that a divorce? His intention, no, just wanted the phone. The answer, if he just wanted just to get the threat, not the divorce, there's no divorce. If it, even if it is swearing, as if he said, you are divorced, if you give me a condition to give me the phone, you'll be divorced. As if it is held, he did not intend with it the divorce. He just wanted to stop her from what she is doing. But it looks, he say, he did not want the divorce. There's no divorce happen. Anyway, the kafara for the yamin, it is to feed 10 needy from the middle of what you feed yourselves and your family, or their clothes, or to free a slave. If you don't, then you fast 3 days. And that wife need to be careful not to. And the wife who could were close, class close to her husband, is equal to the fight of those who perform jihad. Because the woman, if she prayed her time and fasted, and she obeyed her husband, then she will be asked to enter the paradise from any gate she wants. Is the person going to be sent if he bowed down a little bit like the Japanese do whenever they greet people? To bow down a little bit is not from the Sunnah of Islam. So you're not supposed to, when you are shaking hand of an honored person or a friend or anything. Because of Anas, he said, a man said to the Prophet ﷺ, the man, he will see his friend or his brother does he bow down to him? He said no. He said, does he kiss him? He said no. He said, does he hold his hand and shake it? He said yes. But if it is come to ruku, that is forbidden. In Ibn al-Shafi'i said, from the innovation that are forbidden is to bow down just like you're doing ruku to anybody. If the person said, if he shorten his beard, it is supposed to leave it, but to beautify it, it is okay. What is the rule? Selling TV monitors and video games over the net. You don't know whether they use it good or bad. Can you make trade with this? Well, it looks like these are neutral things, could be used in good or bad. So it is on the person who is using it. Of course, there is hatred to certain items because you are indirectly helping to sinning. And to give charity to beautify yourself from this. What is the rule about a person who always swear? Does he feed or fast? A lot of people will answer. A lot of people thought that whenever you want to break uh, uh, the swearing, you fast. No, Allah did not start it like this in His book. When He talked about the kafara for He said, to kafara is to feed 10 people from the medium of what you feed your family, or their clothes, or to free a slave. If you don't find, then you fast 3 days. That is the kafara for your swearing. And to protect yourself, not to waste your time. Allah has shown you His sign, so you must be grateful. So you have to go with the order, the feeding of the people, and to free a slave. If then you can, then the fasting. Because there's no slavery, so you cannot do that. So it's like you feed 10 people. If you can't, the only time you go fasting if you incapable of feeding the 10 needy. Remember what Allah said and protect your swearing. And don't follow every person who swears. But if you did swear and you found something better than it, don't make Allah exposed to your swearing. To swear, you have to fix problem between people. So if you have something better than it, then make the kafara and do what is better. We come to the conclusion of the first part. Inshallah, we'll continue in the second part shortly. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. Questions just came in. If you feel of arrogance, uh, and he's afraid that he's going to sin. Well, remember yourself. The knowledge is just the knowledge is just like Al-Qadr told Musa, my knowledge and yours just like this bird take from the sea nothing. So what you're given is nothing but little. Asharati say, every time I increase in my knowledge, I find that I'm more arrogant. I know more about my ignorance. So the arrogance that want to void the deed and void it. What is mentioned, one of the sheikhs, that he was into the appreciation of people. So they put his car on their shoulders to show how much they respect him. That's too much. His companion said, in their way back, we stopped on a masjid on the road. Nobody in it. And he kept staying in that place until I was afraid for him. So I went to check him out. So I found him. He is cleaning the bathrooms with his own hands. So I asked him, why are you doing this? He said, my son, something of arrogance came, what people did, so I wanted to break my soul from arrogance. So I came to this masjid and I cleaned it. This is the house of Allah. And it is a service. It is an honor. And Allah told his companion, to Ibrahim and his son, to purify my house to those who make Hajj and sujood and tawaf. Inshallah, we'll continue in the second part. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك.